Honorable Men Discord. Boxer Deontay Wilder loses it during an interview with TalkSport. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend and tell a friend I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So let's get straight to it. Pro boxer Deontay Wilder has an upcoming fight on April 4th, if you see it behind me, with boxer Derek Chisora. And apparently he has a friendship with Chisora, but come fight night, he plans to turn it up and they're not going to be friends in the ring. I have him queued up here speaking about that. And this fight, by the way, is taking place on April 4th in London. All right. This is Deontay Wilder speaking about the fight and his expectations for the fight. And then right after that, I'm going to go into the interview that he had where he lost his cool when asked about Tyson Fury. It was like a trigger for him. But let's get into this first interview where he's speaking about the fight.
Sincerely, I said it in a way that he understands that I'm not playing.
Deontay, you mentioned that you kind of have to cut off that friendship between you and Derek when fight night comes. Can you describe what place you have to go to mentally to bring out the Bronze Bomber?
I mean, to do what I want to do and to have a performance that I want to have, I gotta go into a dark place. I gotta physically, mentally, emotionally cut off from Derek. That's why I had these conversations with him. And I told him that this would be the last time we talk. The next time I see you would be in the press conference, which is now. And then the next time I see him would be in the fight, you know. I want him to cut off with me too. And I said it sincerely. I said it in a way that he understands that I'm not playing. You know, he got the message, we both get the message. And he's gonna come and I'm gonna come. I want people to know to see the friendship and to see us so cordial together. Don't be mistaken, because on that night of that fight, you will see two fighters turn up and give you the best of them. Sincerely,
So this is the interview on Talk Sports where Deontay lost it when Tyson Fury was mentioned.
I don't give a about that.
I'm not a Fury
I don't
fan.
give a about it.
I wanted to move you on to Tyson Fury.
I don't want to talk about him.
No, you're going to.
We're here about this.
No, but you're going to.
We're not going to talk about him at all.
But as part
We're
of
not going to talk about him at all. Understand that?
No, fair enough.
All right, then. So let's move on. It's all about Derek Chisora, and that's it.
I understand that. The only
back, baby.
The only
Y'all
reason,
understand
the
that?
only
You
reason,
better be. April the 4th is going down.
The only reason
at the O2, you better be there.
Fabulous.
You'll be a square.
The only reason I mentioned it is because it's part of the shtick that goes with you. And I missed you first time round when you came in here 3 years ago, when you were in your pomp 4 years ago doing Bomb Squad and all that sort of stuff. And I've always wanted to have a conversation with you because you've made observations about Fury. I have my own views on Fury. And you've called him a cheat. And it leads me
the biggest in boxing.
Yeah, but it leads me to a conclusion.
Biggest in boxing. If somebody practicing, taking their stuff out of their gloves in training, what you think they're going to do in the fight?
Yeah, but...
That's all I got to say about that,
I want to
bro.
put something to you about you, right? And Fury just happens to be the hook for it.
That's all I got to say about him.
You talked about being cheated in that fight. You talked about water being spiked. You talked about your Game of Thrones outfit being too heavy for you.
I didn't say that.
You said it was too heavy for you. Your outfit.
I didn't say that.
Okay, well, I might be wrong on that one. You talked about the long...
Y'all took a journalist that said something because y'all, you know, everybody wanted to come in, oh, wow, this boom, boom,
You talked about a long count, right? And then you talked about the trainers, Mark Breland not being good enough.
No, I ain't say he wasn't good enough.
So what I'm asking you in all of this is, it sounds to me, given the character that you are, that's like a little bit flaky. You lost those fights, and those fights were lost. And you saying that someone like Fury cheated you in those fights, I think is kind of disappointing to me
You can say
about
what
you
you
because
want. I know the truth. I have the facts.
Okay.
Understand that. Because when the documentary and everything that started come out, I'm going to show every thing.
Fantastic.
I'm going to get all the people that know.
You think
and
I'm a
all the
Fury
people
fan?
that's in the
You think
inside. He got people that in the inside of him.
I'm a Fury
that
fan?
know. I don't, what?
No,
I don't give a about that.
I'm not a Fury
I don't
fan.
give a about it. I said we didn't want to bring him up in the first place. It ain't got to do with him.
Fair enough.
I don't give a about that.
I'm not a Fury fan.
Well, with that being said, Tyson Fury had something to say about that, hearing about this interview and the allegations of cheating.
Just a quick update this morning to let you know what time it is and where we are. Very, very blessed In my life, I've received the highs of highs and the lows of lows. And I'm very, very thankful to God for every experience that I've had, whether it's been good or bad or indifferent. It's all made me the man I am today. I've had such a marvellous career that I'm really, really thankful for. I've worked very hard, but it's all been God's plan. Everything that's happened has been God's plan. Even today, to come back at 37 years old is God's plan and God's will. And we will see where it takes us, no problem. My last 2 fights, I didn't get the result I was after. Alexander got the results over me. Fair play to him and his team and everybody around it. You know, it's life lessons. In this life, you don't always get what you want. You don't always get what you think you want and think you did enough to get. However, that's where it stays. You don't hear me crying and moaning about, oh my God, he cheated. You don't hear any of that shit because that's not me. It is what it is. No point crying over spilled milk. Alex is a fantastic fighter and a fantastic person. He's a God-fearing Christian family man whom I respect to the utmost, and I wish all the best in his career. And if I ever get to share the ring again, fantastic. We've had 2 brilliant fights, 2 brilliant close fights. He got W's in both of them. Get up. But yeah, we move on, and I'm ever thankful for the Lord for what he's given me and every road he's taken me down. It wasn't supposed to be for me over in Saudi Arabia, and at the time I was very, very hurt by that, and I was thinking, what's gone on here? Like, how has this happened to me, God? And I realised that everything's God's plan and God's timing, and I'm just so thankful and so blessed to be in this position and on the verge of a massive return in 2026. Let's not forget, this big bad boy turned pro in 2008, a long time ago, and still continuing. I'm old, I'm bald, I'm slower, but I'm still the GK and I'm still the Big Mac. And the Mac is returning April 11th, 2026. Where will you be?
One quick thing. So you have Deontay Wilder fighting on April 4th. He's talking about he's fighting April 11th. I think that's what he said. Do any of you still care to watch a Deontay Wilder fight or a Tyson Fury fight? I'm going to have to say no to that. It's something I would catch if it's on TV. I'd watch it if I came across it, but I wouldn't want to tune in live. And that's no disrespect to them, but I think I've seen all that I need to see out of both of them as far as what they have to offer. Wilder, for some reason, especially in the fights against Fury, I know he's saying there's cheating involved, but in those fights, one thing that stood out for me is the lack of conditioning. It seems like he was winded, almost as if he has asthma or some type of respiratory issue. That's one thing that stood out to me. Like, he has a serious respiratory issue that maybe he didn't disclose, but it seemed like when he lost energy, he completely was depleted. There was like nothing left in the tank to continue fighting, and that's why he continues to lose against Fury. In addition to the fact of maybe a possible respiratory issue and lack of cardio training, or not enough of cardio training, it seems as though whenever Fury weighed in on him and held him, the weight of Fury overpowered him. Because I believe in each fight, Tyson Fury was heavier than Wilder, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't look into that right now, but I think I'm about 90% sure. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments that I'm wrong, but I believe Fury was always the heavier fighter in those fights. And so whenever he clinched and held on and imposed his weight on Deontay Wilder just couldn't take it. He couldn't throw punches, deal with the weight difference, and deal with the long rounds. It just got the best of him, and he just had nothing to give. He had nothing to give. But cheating allegations, let's see what the documentary that he puts out has to say about it. One thing I will say about boxing and any type of sport, entertainment, I think it's valuable to look into media training. You see, for Wilder, I know how frustrating that must be to try to look forward towards the future and someone's constantly trying to bring up the past, especially if the past is something that you never got over, which is the losses to Tyson Fury. The 2 losses to Tyson Fury, I believe they fought 3 times. He lost twice. He won 1 and he lost 2. But I believe media training would be valuable for Deontay Wilder, because when the guy asks the questions, just let him ask his question, and then you could just say, listen, the fight's on April 4th. And every time he asks a question you don't want to answer, don't answer it. Just let him answer it and just ignore him and say, the fight's on April 4th. Ignore it. But you allowed him to rattle you. You got up out your seat. You're giving him viral moments. I never even seen this guy before. I never even heard of the show. Maybe he is a popular host. Never heard of him, never heard of the show. But with that being said, you just gave him a moment, a viral moment that he didn't need, especially off the fact that he ignored the fact you said you didn't want to talk about it, and he continued to talk about it, regardless of the fact of how angry he saw you were. That's the media for you. Don't fall for the bait, Wilder. Do not fall for the bait. Get media training. You're going to have to learn to control your emotions. Listen, even in sport, professional sports, you have to learn to control your emotions. They say the best fighters are the ones that don't fight from emotions. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. If I'm right, let me know I'm right in the comments. Martial arts, boxing, all those practices, you got to go with a clear mind. From an outsider looking in, you would assume you have to be angry, which is what he mentioned in the clip I showed in the beginning. He's going to be he's not going to be friendly with the other fighter, but he seems like he has to go. He said he has to go to a dark place. Listen, I've heard that you have to be focused, and I don't know if that requires you going to a dark place or it just requires for you to be super focused and not let anything rattle you. He's saying he's going into a dark place. Let's see how that works out for him on April 4th. Maybe it works out for him. But one thing is for certain is he needs media training so he doesn't continue to sit down with people, and when people sit down with him, they have this as a reference. They have this interview where you lost it, and they're going to continue to bring up fury because they know it triggers you. Don't fall for the bait. That's my thoughts on this. What's your thoughts? As always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, to tell their family member, to tell their colleague. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, stay honorable.